That lesson went awry. I won't post that one. But anyway, I wanted to talk about, kind of just off the top of my head, I don't know, I'll edit the video that I had recorded earlier in the purple shirt. It's rare to see me in my striped shirt, although this, you would think that this is the only shirt that I wore in real life. I've always worn this shirt. Had it for too long. Anyway, let's get back to, of course I still need support from many, many, many people. I think that there should be a social society that, this screen here should turn into a social service system that protects people from your trap of narcissistic relationships. Fucking hit the nail on the head, 1 minute, turn it off. An excellent short. I really should. That's what I've been trying to say. I mean, I've been saying something about it. Yeah, that's what I've been mentioning, but I've been trying to really just like lift it with a spatula and flip it all over and reversed it. That money is socialized to a certain type that in fact can be social because they are human beings. They are simply enlightened. They are that one type that is rare, but it's there. And see, but they are outnumbered by stupid people. Can't get any more fucking blatant than that, man. I mean, right to the point. I've made like 800 videos that just, now this is a summary, and I hope you appreciate my content, that you go through and try and get the jewels that are fashioned up within the, perhaps, just wash, right? Especially since I've been getting in very deep with that, like, but who can avoid it? There is a glitch in the system, man. There's, it's called the rabbit hole, to tell you the truth. When, if you ever did have a really great thing, idea, dream of your own, could result in an idea or an invention, or just the basic effort to cure, to be a cure for something, you will go down the rabbit hole of what can appear to be a mob of people that, if you back each and every one up individually into a corner and ask them what the fuck they think they're doing, opposing such a great idea as a cure or some healthy thing, even for them is better, they'll say, I really don't know. I love you, babe. Would you like to go bowling tonight? They're just totally wishy-washy. See, their strength in numbers. Here's my kitty cat. She's so wonderful. She's so great. Hi, little kiddo. Oh, kiddo. Oh. This is a much better video than what I made so far in vibes, I think, than the one that's wearing the purple shirt, but I'll promise to edit that one to make it safe for people, even just for myself, you have to be careful of giving yourself a bad reputation, because there is a population outnumbering in numbers who's stupid. They don't know how to live, and so they take a very little bit of the quality. They don't know how to mine the good stuff. Like, say, if they were musicians, which they aren't. So, because playing music is a higher learning tool, and once you figure it out, it begins to teach you, if you really are doing it by ear, and you're not emulating it. I trip out on people that emulate music, and it's really amazing. I am actually admiring them, that they can read music and like play any piece, if it's a Chopin or something. But you see, but then they don't have any original pieces. They can't close the book, and they can't, with their ear and their hand touching the piano and out on the string, they cannot pick out and play correctly Mary Had a Little Lamb, just the one melody, or Happy Birthday that only has like 4 notes. They have now what I would say is absolutely no musical ability at all. That's what I have to say. And then furthermore, I would connect that to, well, it's the same kids with people who think that you can study in a book about life or something, like that's what you're supposed to be doing in the first 14 years of your darn life, right? As you go to school and you get into the books. Well, you're supposed to be experiencing what there, except for what's obvious is that, well, don't crank your neck up because you're looking down into a book all the time. Some people can get kind of disoriented there physically if they don't even know where they are and they get in their head too much, and that's what's called cerebral narcissism. Cerebral narcissism, that's what academia is creating over there, and that's the brunt of the kind of narcissism that we run into that is interesting to study. It's covert in nature the way it masks itself because it is incredibly stupid. Why do you say it like that, Shauna? And what is it? It's because that they don't really have an experience. They're of book read. And then there is, I just would say, a marching army that is on automatic. They're just wound up and then release them. And they are the system's workers. How about that? That they are keeping up an absolute zoo. In the West, I can say it. In America, I mean, even though the majority who are stupid, um, are we're outnumbered. Intelligence is, and basically it's just people who have achieved a certain level of knowing how to be here that I would say that is less harmful to life. Anyway, trying to stay on train here. I hope it's funny what I'm saying. It's only minute 8. It's much better than what I was putting together in my last video, only because I'm upset about what is happening in my personal life. I'm not wanting to share much anymore, but I will share. You'll see if I do fashion it up. It's the video with the purple shirt that might go ahead of this video, okay? That talks about my court issues and judicial problems and stuff. It's something that I hope that everybody kind of experiences every once in a while. I guess that's why they try and drag people into doing jury duty. But you notice on the little leaflets is that there's a religious column. I think it says, because of my religious values, I don't pass judgment on other people. Just to put that bluntly, right there, you're not required to do that until by your master, until the monetary system is completely abolished. Getting back into that, see, a lot of people who are that are very few and far in between, but they are human beings, in fact intelligent people, know that we don't need money. They know that there's a creative world. See, there's a creation of creation going on in front of our faces that God made, that, well, scientifically, supposedly there's a periodic scale of elements that says, and this is what it's comprised of. It's hydrogen, oxygen, a load of stuff. Nowhere on it do you see the M element, money, which drives, which is the key element to all elements. I mean, if one single thing is missing atomically, it just won't run. See, money, in other words, money is not running everything, right? So I heard somebody talking about, why are you talking about this, Shauna? How do you expect to get money if you have a strange relationship with it? What are you saying there? It's interesting to open that up like that. You mean, do I have to imagine the relationship that I'm having with money now in order to get something into me, which is, it is vital that, oh man, right, don't you think? I'm going to test it out. Well, do I really need electricity? I guess. I mean, sometimes we have to test it out every once in a while. I don't know. Luckily, I've ended up okay. I'm trying to loosen up here and be funny as hell, but no, it's when you get late on your property taxes that you that and it starts getting into some lethal shit that they're doing per month, adding on a penalty and stuff. See, I refuse to believe at this point. Now I'm talking about this minute 10:40, and how did it get here, Shauna? And where are you going to go with it now? Man, oh man, I would love to be the cause or to be the start or to get moving, start a trend about socializing money and also socializing all of our problems that money can take care of. In fact, do you think that that system has caused those problems and anomalies, in the first place in life that we must figure out how to do? I say, yeah, follow the money, maybe. And then is it that berserk, like with the mind of a child, that somebody can change it just like that? Maybe through one little small cherry on the top that says you have to not only know your language, but change the look of it a little bit. That says, hey, you know what? I know my language, and I also know that I'm free to capitalize anywhere, anytime. Pardon my cat, she's a little love girl, and she's coming around, into season, I guess is what you'll call it. Anyway, I'd rather be here than out there roaming around, right? She's such a good girl. Anyway, you catch my drift about something that I'm trying to expose. We don't know if it'll ever catch on what I'm saying, to be able to flip the script and in fact get your freedom by way of changing your relationship with money. It doesn't have to be such an isolated incident that you're backed in the corner now and you're being, it's just like the narcissist, right? Maybe that you feel, I mean, it's just like maybe it's your midlife crisis too. It's like, well, wait a minute, everybody's going through this illusion of something that, did I learn all of the books? Very good. And then by the time you're 50, it's like the answer is no. I mean, there's a lot of subconscious programming that you have to deal with, especially I'm talking for myself, being 50 now. um, it's the Chiron return for everybody. They have a Chiron return every at 50 years old, and that's what we're saying is kind of the mark. Chiron is your wounded warrior, wherever you find it, and it's in Aries for us people here in the being in level 50, and it's a reset, especially for the women that are saying, "Excuse me, but I got over a lot of that, and it's now time to elevate." In general, for people, the truth is by the time you're 45, 50, 60, 70, 80, and beyond, you are a seasoned piece of work of having studied and been interested in something. You were loyal to, and you had an interest, and you were dedicating your freedom, and you even sacrificed for something. And by the time you're 45 or 50, you can become whatever it is, no matter what, whether you like it or not. That's what is going on. And you can usually kids are able to look up to that, or all of society. It really depends on what that something is. Now, getting deeper into it, really, I was going to originally start off this video is please stop having children. Anyway, it depends on how much confusion you have going on in the name of, like, well, what I mean is how many people are there? Are they being taught or disciplined in a certain way? Are they encouraged such an individuality that it goes way beyond what we know as being individuals? It's like, no, that means you're crazy. By the way, you think that you have your own reality and it's your own truth. We kind of understand where you're coming from, but can you get out of that bubble every once in a while and say, but no, there is reality. Did you open up an account with outer space? I mean, it's that, you can have, and you do have an aura about you. That's what they've always drawn about your Christ consciousness or Jesus, you'll see, or any of the figures that are holy or whatever you call it. Really, they're spiritual people, they're enlightened. They have a sun there. It's like seems to be there. Whoops, sorry, my son did it blind you. Oh God, here I'm trying to help you. By the way, but the people can feel in reality more and more and more terrible around somebody who's actually a healer and maybe just a little bit smarter than the other person. I don't know. It's just a natural thing, right? And the narcissist gets really offended. There's a challenge, but they do it. They do admire them, and they know it's all kinds of shit that's going on in them. It's like, and why? Well, first of all, you're not their teacher or your boss. And who's the boss? You know what I mean? Well, money a lot of times is the boss. Let's talk about how that scheme there again, is like it's a manipulator. It's just like, no, let's just make it like this so that someone can be manipulated. And that's why the world looks and feels the way it does today. Now, I am a woman here speaking here, and I think a lot of women lack in having conversation about any of this kind of thing. I think a lot of them are forgetting. I think all of humanity forgot what a woman is, let alone what a man is, really, to tell you the God honest truth. Can you hear me? Check 1, 2. I'm trying to make sense here and go on with something. What's happening in the stars today, Shauna? What's going on? Oh, well, for especially the Aries, and there's a communications aspect going on. We can talk about Mercury conjuncting Jupiter at the very same time it went into Cancer. That's what happened too. Mercury was there. Well, it's not short of exactly squaring Saturn and Neptune, which is a very epic thing in the sky. And to me, it just calls for a lot of, I'll tell you right firsthand, it calls for a lot of discipline to look deeper into a subject matter that's trying to reform everybody. It's not just that there's an isolated incident that you could be a Aries or a Libra or a Cancer or a Capricorn that really is affected by this. Depends on if you're the early degree. No, for everybody, this is the effect because it's in the sky that Neptune has gone into Aries, and that's the first house of the self. And I do drag in Aries is just that resetting of the entire inner workings of self within each person. Somewhere they have it, and it's pronounced, and you can look into it. So it's intense for some of us that our Aries is right now, and but any of the cardinal signs early are experiencing waves about it. There's a lot of, with what Saturn is up to, there's a lot of exposure of where discipline is needed, and then what Neptune is up to, there's a lot of, it's hard to explain because it's conjunct Saturn. It's such an opportunity. Well, because Jupiter is conjunct, square to Saturn, Neptune and Saturn now, especially the Neptune square to Jupiter. It's a time where it's best to leave it to the dream world is but what I mean is creation of creation, the way that it really is. Getting back to creation of creation, that it doesn't really take money to have it here. The periodic scale of elements does not show that money is necessary for creation to exist. And I say, as a woman, and a lot of kids might agree, that it could be a much cooler place without thinking that money is what ran everything. In fact, it's running everything into the ground. Hi, it's me again. And I'm trying not to display my horrible relationship with money, but that's not the truth. Something is behind it. And I think it's the fact, okay, let's get into some tricky words. Who is paying attention? Is anybody paying any attention? What do you have to pay just to be able to do attention, I guess? Does that make sense? See, that's what our focus is on. Now, then I'll slip in that there could be a spiritual advisor or guru. I say there is. It's been not what you think, though. It's gunpowder. That's what you have to consider in the movie, that's been what's been being sure that money works in a certain way. Otherwise, see, money could be in favor of something else. See, is media on American money anyway that says, in God we trust. That's what a lot of my video that I don't think I should dare not post it. I just have to edit some of it and then try to get the good points out of that video onto your listening ability. Please like and subscribe and do donate some money. I'm in an incredible trap. and I'm at the point where I'm talking, it's like I'm talking to the trap and the trap designer and whoever else knows that, who has designed the trap. It's kind of like what I'm doing here, but I'm trying to reach everybody. Have you noticed? It's kind of wah-wah. You know, I think I mentioned it earlier in this video that no, in fact, it's just like the narcissist. What, Shauna? Well, try to pinpoint it. You know, is the lights on and anybody home there? I mean, just because the lights are on, nobody's home. See, what I'm saying is that it's a Mr. Smith thing. It's the system. It's like, okay, babe, do you have your own autonomy? Can you think on your own? Have you experienced a feeling that is good? See, that's the thing about narcissists, is that that's the problem that you have with them. It's the sad thing about it. I don't like to pick on them at all. Is that they don't feel good. A lot of them have perhaps a hidden handicap or deficit or something. It could be temporary. See, they don't transmute it very well if they experience some kind of boundary breaking, which it always happens all the time. But some people have had such horrific abuse, okay? Let's get down to it. Some cultures and society, it's normal. I'll say it, and it could come in a very, very subtle form of just people talking and really teaching. And now I point at some of the weirdest offshoots of Christianity. I mean, it could be Catholicism itself. You know, some of it is kind of twisted up. It's like, well, why did it end up like that? Well, fucking people are so far away from the teachings of Christ right there. Crimes and hell, okay? And how do you like this conversation? Because it's just stopped. I had stopped talking for a moment here in the middle of this video, and see, I'm 50 years old, and when you're 50, you go through the experience of that Chiron return. I'm not through it all already, and I'm not through it yet. For me, it's extra intense because it's on my first house, so it's handling transformation and just things that are beyond your circumstance to control as far as how your body is going. You know, it may be that way. I mean, you kind of give in to the old age thing, I guess. But really, we are being severely attacked. You know, I still know, and I believe that, I don't know, I mean, it seems obvious that we were to live longer. We used to live to be 600 to 1,500 years old. And there are rumors that people way off in a place where they don't want you to know that they're there. And there's wars all around them. Say like in Tibet, maybe, in the Andes, somewhere over there, man. But they managed to still survive. That they do live for 300 years, 175 years. That's the rumor. And it's full of knowing that there's superhuman powers. Like levitation, you know, just flying around on your own, I guess that suggests it could be. And what else? Being able to start a fire with your own hand, or all of it that even seems normal here to hear about, which is telepathy, remote viewing, healing of any kind. See, it could be very different for us if we weren't so bombarded with poisons. And that's been the controversy that is trying to work itself out over social media. If you ever wondered, you can click out of the matrix and get into how they will talk about it here. Well, how do you even know about clicking out of the matrix? Well, there's a way to use this thing. It's really to be first, you're curious about the life around you, especially somebody like me, age 50, where we didn't have social media but until 25 years ago, but I didn't get on it until 15 years ago, well, 13 or so. Uh, yeah, and so that's late for a lot of people. A lot of people have been on it for 20 years, 25 years. And so it's a long time to think about, but we have been experiencing video and video games, and then, you know, your own personal computer, and then the way that it just took off like crazy is very curious to notice if you've ever taken a break from it and then come back to it. And that's what I contemplate doing, because it's a form of communicating that is getting more and more dangerous. Only it's for both sides, though. There is both sides to think about. Two types, one of them can expose what's really going on and say how much better it could be if it was done with more pure awareness and making the human aperture, like the potential our human organism, the organism itself, into its own intelligence. Like I said, how that it could be superpowers, it could be superhuman, stuff like that. And thanks for listening. Pardon the truck out there. Somebody has to know that they're backing up. Anyway, I'm not able to concentrate and work because I'm being distracted by people that want my attention, that I feel that they are a distraction away from my real purpose. It's like, I complain about making money, but maybe it's because I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing to make money. I should be trying something else. And that's what I've been trying to do here over social media is, see, I will start to privatize some of my videos only if I know that it's a very exclusive, like what I mean is a very hot topic or subject matter, who knows? See, there has to be a way to be able to do this. I would love and sit and to brainstorm with you about it. The obvious comes up to me because I do keep talking about that there's two types that are here on this plane. And one of them, pardon the lighting here, let me change it a little bit, right? One of them is the real thing. Let's just put it like that. And the real thing has true power. It has access to the universe, and then therefore it has power because it's resourceful. In what? In energy. A certain kind of energy is preferred to make it run unfailingly. As a human involvement, it is love. It is human. It is perfectly 100% achieved as humane, baby. See, the problem that we've been having on this plane, I'm talking about it, I don't know what I've been talking about the last 29 minutes, but maybe it's somewhere along the lines of this, and I keep going back here, is that there's a non-human, it's like you have to be turned on as an organism. Not everybody is born human. This is a school here where you have a human spacesuit on. You could say it looks human, but you need to be turned on it's like I can say, I feel it's a school, that you're becoming more and more conscious with something that is teaching you, which is the universe. And when you become more and more aware, it's really consciously aware, um, you're becoming one with the universe, how it really is, how it really, really is. And see, this kind of conversation that I would rather have is the high-minded kind. So you can talk about what I was talking about in my purple shirt in the future here. You're going to see that footage after I edit it. It's, see, there's that, or there's the side where people are ascending, and they're going to see the day when they don't die. They know that there's no death, and they just go, and they open up into a whole other spectrum of really the dream. And it's where you go whenever you go to sleep at night. It's like, you mean I can put it any way and anywhere and any how I want. Yeah, so long as you go along the lines of heaven, the heavens, and like what is harmonious, that allows the dream to persist. And it could be just a huge bunch of possibility. And your awareness is pulling from it, which is how creation is happening. It's a very minute little tiny bit. As an artist, you're bringing in something that will decorate an entire world. It helps in the mosaic that is the world as a whole. You're a small part in it, but there it is, necessary. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be there in connection to everything else, right? And that's just, this kind of talk here is better than being upset and angry and fed up. And that's exactly where I've headed towards. I didn't get much sleep because I'm so, I don't know how to solve my situation here. I don't think it's my individual situation, though. I think that humanity is going through something, and I am like in effect, I'm just this kind of person that has noticed a problem like a long time ago, okay? And I thought, well, oh no, what do I do now? Now, I'm going with that because I'm a woman. Um, it's interesting, I I try to be as honest as I can to, and fit in at the same time. And I find that pretty difficult. There is a world out there that it's not really mine. I'll say that there's a lot of changes that could and should be made. I don't know. I look at it and I think, well, I'm certainly not responsible for this. Nah, I don't think that I think more and more people should like sit down in kind of mild form of protesting and maybe go against, no matter what, there's always that, right? There's people that listen to Bob Marley or Bob Marley himself or whoever. Christ Jesus was one, babe, was a rebel. I mean, if that was a protester up there, hanging up there, it probably was. You never know. It's just a story, but it's repeating itself, you bet. And that's another part of the deception that we have to wake up to. And I think it's this year it's going to happen that Christ returns. Yeah. No, but it's not what a lot of people think. You know, a lot of really painfully irresponsible people, unfree, by the way, they're unfree, are waiting for the king to show up out of the sky or something like that, the King of Kings. And that's some heavy, harsh, heavy duty language right there. I mean, who's impressed like on a chessboard? Who's impressed with the kings? I mean, it's the queens that move around like crazy and do the shit, and they look crazy. But anyway, so thanks for listening to this. Not feeling well at all, to tell you the truth. I'm trying to make my escape, I guess, and it could happen for all of us. And it's not in the way that I'm trying to work it here where I'm trying to get money from individual people. No, it should never be, money should not be individualized. What I mean, it should be socialized. See, the thing that, I'm going to wrap this up now, the thing that it's going to be related to, what a lot of people do not handle is freedom. Real live freedom. Like if you really were given $1 million, I don't know who you are, but like $1 million for me per year is plenty enough. All right, I could be of some use to other people if they needed money. I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, what if you see that you could hear the talk that money gives people more freedom. Well, what if? See, why don't people understand that and just say, well, then why don't we socialize it? Here's why. I'm pretty sure we could say it's 92%, and it includes me, you know, because I don't know, I stifle myself. Well, money is a big problem. I do with what I can. I try to make sense, you know, as far as where I go in my car and stuff like that, right? Of course, we try to baby ourselves. If we don't have the income, then we don't do as much. And, you know, but if you did, though, see, are you somebody that can handle having freedom? That, oh, no, you have access to $1 million right now. You know, but shouldn't we put a limit on some of it? I don't know. I see how that we can get to, really, it's a very spiritual thing, but something is trying to hijack it, you bet. They're trying to hijack how it really is when you have reached like sovereignty in being as a human being, and now you're like, and in fact, all of this is mine. But by that time, you have so much that you have proven to work with and you hold that you can do. See, the organism is far from exhibiting intelligence mainly. It's mainly not knowing how electricity works, right? How to clean their own water, how to grow food, how to play the kazoo. I mean, you know, it's how to thing is being lost. And but it's like, well, how do you punish people and keep people in control or something like that? That's what it's kind of. And you work for a company that is keeping you in cognitive dissonance about that effort that is masked in so many ways, down to your, of course your skin lotions aren't good for you. Just make your own olive oil with some make sure you eat it from the inside out. You're taking care of your skin. Eat oils, but any kind of oil that you can eat, yes, put that on your skin if you really want to, especially to heal your skin and stuff and dissolve things down. Uh, Coconut oil is really good for you. Anyway, I'm having a really difficult time, and it has to do with a relationship that is there in my life, and it's like it's so weird because it feels like that I'm wrapping up my, I don't know, I'm very, God, this fucking video now, this part, okay, this is where I would say now go on Patreon, and I'll tell you about my personal life and what I'm going through. I'm an Aries rising for one. I'm highly misunderstood. Okay, people are misunderstanding the Aries people to be that they are a certain way, and they're not. They're very much not that. Um, so the one thing that we are not is like manipulative and game playing, like head trippers. We're not really that. I mean, we challenge people um, to maybe get out of their heads, and also if they're in their heads challenging us, no, we do not back down. But where we're coming from is from beyond that, is that the I am is reality, the truth. And it's not a head here. It's not a head tripping. It's the truth here. And it's like, how do you knock that down? You can't. The Aries people are pretty fucking stout and sturdy people. They do not give up, right? They're your superheroes. Did I mention that? In the big book of Aries, it rules heroes, coaches, the athlete, the ones that make it to the top first, the ones that just jump. Their saying is just do it. You know, they are, there's a lot of exceptions to the rules with those people. And all of the signs have their exception to the rule because they are the ruler of something, and they're like, no bullshit. With me, it's like this. But see, the Aries is speaking for the whole entire existence of humanity because it is the I am. And if you don't get that first Aries message and you try to skip over it, well, you're going to be wearing bubble wrap the whole time, and it's all going to be thrown out of proportion because Aries don't wear no fucking bubble wrap, and we ain't doing helmets either. We're getting better than that, and we don't tap our heads that hard. No, it hurts. We're afraid of being hurt. That's the main thing to be afraid of. It's like, and that's why you don't fuck up. And we also are afraid of like not having ever taken the chance. And we are afraid of not being able to tell the story. We are afraid of not being free to express, especially in communications. Aries is the first one to say, oh, blah, 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 blah. You know, and what are you going to do? But and it's not, is it going to be a fist fight? Aries is up there saying, fucking, I'll kick your fucking ass too, blam, blam, blam. You know, and the Libra isn't far from being able to do that too. Really, and the Libras are known to be better than Aries when it comes to tactics of blam, 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 or whatever that fucking shit is. But so they kind of they can work together very well. It's known that that first opposition that happens in astrology is the very first opposition. That's why Libra is so trippy. It's the I'm not, and it's love. It says, I love. And it's looking over at Aries, and it's like, what up? And Aries is like, I love you too. so, right? Because, well, it's the Mars, Aries, and then Venus, Libra. I don't know. I could tie something in right now. I could talk about how Mars went into Virgo. It's changed. We have not seen this change of Mars for like, God, it's been so long because we've had the Mars in Cancer, and it went into Leo a little bit, and then it went back into Leo after Cancer. It's just a major vibrational change to have Mars in Virgo, and a lot of stuff is going to change that needs to be changed, like cleaning up. Cleaning up needs to be done, especially now in relationships. It's the worst thing to think of is that you have relationships that just aren't going to be useful to you. Maybe they are causing it to be a drag in your life, and you have to just clean them out. You can't be with that energy anymore. You can't be with that person. You can't be with that job. You can't be with that neighborhood, the community. I believe I'm experiencing that with. I kind of knew this was going to happen, and I think that I would rather travel the world. If I sold my home, I would try to travel the world with. I would try to find a partner first, though. See, I don't see it happening right now because I don't have the partner that says, "Yeah, let's do it." See, they would have to be an equal to me financially, which wouldn't be much. It's not much if you consider how other people they are secure in having a job that will guarantee them $350,000 a year or 600,000 maybe. That's a lot, right? It's a lot to me. Um, and see, I would only have that much if I somewhere in between there if I sold this home. Being kind of blunt with you at minute 46, and then I would have to still act like I have nothing that I'm working with because I just know how it was before when I like now because I'm not making any dime. I would still live like I'm fucking poor because I do not want to live that way ever again, I guess. But I would be traveling the world and eating beans and saying no to a lot of stuff that's like, nah, that costs too much money. And I didn't, where would you want to go? What would you want to do? The truth is I want to go to some place that falls in love with me and I fall in love with it. And my money can actually work for me there somehow, some way, if it's just opening up a little farmland or something that is just equal to what I'm attempting here, but makes way more sense. I just land in a community that's like, we're doing the same thing, and I make guitars over here, you play the guitars? Yeah, and I'm like, okay. And, right, we're all somehow getting along, and, blessed be that if you can dream that way, just the way I did. You don't have to meet it in this lifetime. It could probably be when you die in your next lifetime. It's like, now can I go to that place where I think it's a lot better? Because why did I die in the first place? Didn't I get out of hell? Gee, isn't that what Rumi said over and over and again on Facebook? Dear God? Fuck, how is it going to be for us, man? I say that we transcend death. And it's like, see, we don't do it. We don't die. See, they're trying to do it synthetically, right? Here's my little girl. She's such a good girl. I'm having such difficulty with my love relationship. Because I don't know if it's because it's just so isolated and this one-on-one. I'm not getting any help. I can't talk about it to anybody but that person. It's like because I have nobody around me. See, but I'm keeping a right mind about that, and it's like this. I was trying to make a video about this, and I'm going to close it up now because it'll tie into the purple shirt video that I make. It's going to start out about talking about narcissism and just toxic people.
Oh, but you can really buy a roller ball, mini booty ball, the die die, lie mama.
Kind of run the boat. She's such a peaceful animal to have around, right? A cat. Oh, I'm so grateful for this animal. See, if you really knew me, I want to escape away from what's encroaching is less and less like organically loving, and it's weird. I want to be around people that are like me, but it's like it's a trick statement because well, who wants to be around people like themselves, right? And that'd be a nightmare. People got to be a little different and kind of offset us a little bit, right? Anyway, but no, me in particularly, I was trying to tell at the beginning of the video. Wow, minute 50. that the Aries people were going through a major change. We are, if I didn't say it in this video, I'd say it in the next video, that because of the Saturn and the Neptune, and if it's not happening for you, it's going to happen to you, and then you're going to see that it's for you, and it's like, dang, did I have to go this shitty fucking route? And some of us do, I guess. A lot of the Aries people do learn the hard way, and they don't think that there's any other way to learn, but by through experiences. Like through experience is not just one way to learn, it's the only way to learn. And that's what we're doing. And if that's what you call hard, then okay, fine. I think that it's easier though too when if you observe other people and you think, you know what, that right there, I'm not going to do it, not at all, no way. See, I have been doing that all my life, and the consequences of having not followed the crowd is that the crowd is not going to accept you. Period. I didn't just say it's a bad or good thing. Um, who are those crowd? Where do they go? What are they doing? Well, I say if they don't have their health and they can't decide, like by the time you're 45 and 50, 60 years old, you're harboring something, this is the same video, that you have been interested in, and now you can contribute back. If anything, it's not with no try. You're just, what you are is a field of information, and your radiation has a wisdom behind it that people can learn from. Now, having said that, see, a lot of people don't care for anybody or any kind of like learning except for how do you make a dime, right? There's some people that, now I say that it's men that are especially, like, it seems, now that I'm talking about it, minute 52, it seems more than ever that I've ever experienced, okay? It seems like that we were going away from being so attached to materialism and stuff, but then, lo and behold, somehow, some way, not that they can give a little vaccine that would push people over into it also. In fact, they did ask Rudolf Steiner that materialism would increase. And then like a repeat or a loop-de-loop of like, okay, right now we are experiencing a depression, right? If you haven't noticed, it's hard times, and it's like, here it is, the 20s. So now we're going to go and we're just repeating some kind of fucking loop-de-loop that the control system knows how to produce and just keep people locked in this. Now, they would call it a glass ceiling, particularly for females is the term, but now I'm noticing that what I know really is, what there really is a spiritual glass ceiling. Yeah, and that's getting, now this is where we're getting into this year with the Neptune in the sign of a ruling planet of Mars. It's under Mars rulership. It's going to test that belief system. It already is. Inside of each individual, some individuals will not be able to be fooled. They will wake up, their third eye is going to awaken. It's going to cause a lot of problems with the system. If it's not already happening, I mean, things might be going on. Really, what goes on is that they hijack. They get right up, and they know that these times are available to mankind, especially through astrology, you see, and they get right up ahead of it. So that's what we see. That's what we're seeing in the United States. Is creeping in where, oh yeah, we've had riots in LA. You heard about this thing with the immigration, right? I'm hearing a little bit about it, and that's how I get to know. It's like, oh, okay, something else is going on. See, I do not look into media at all. I don't look at it. I hear it from other people, and then I start intuitively listening. I mean, you can kind of know it's very deceptive unless you do that. Unless you meditate, yeah. But yeah, I feel that I need to move out of the country. I mean, getting back to that, but I was trying to say something, I guess, towards the end. sorry about the rambling. It's as a result of trying to make myself feel better, more like me. I'm supposed to be a motivational speaker. I'm supposed to be inspiring people. You know, and see, you're supposed to be doing something too. See, humanity and the way that civilization is supposed to look at like something completely different, according to what um, Tesla's machinery was supposed to be used for. You know, that's the rabbit hole there. Do you notice the supposed to? But what happened? There's a rabbit hole. You know that you've got to look at how that. Okay, once you get past all of the obstacle, which is like other people that say you can't do it, or that, and it's just as good as your family, your friends, your workplace, all of it that says no. So then you get past that, down the rabbit hole you go. You find out what is controlling all of them to be the entities that they are, that prevents you from being all you can be, which I'm here to tell you right now, babes, I'm a woman, I can, and also I'm an Aries. I could say it. All you can ever be, the best you can be, is this moment now. Particularly just the kind of presence that you are, the quality of the presence that you are with other people and all of life around you. How that you treat other people's suffering. In short, how do you treat their narcissism?